300 years have passed since the resurrection of Jesus Christ. There are now 5 million Christians living in the Roman Empire, which has a total population of over 45 million people. The borders of this empire reach north to the banks of the Danube, south to the deserts of North Africa, west to the British Isles, and east to the Caspian Sea. By 300 AD, there were 5 apostolic sees: Rome, Byzantium, Alexandria, Antioch, and Jerusalem, each one founded by one of the 12 apostles, each one governed by a bishop who can trace his authority back to the original founding apostle. Each bishop is assisted by priests who are in turn helped by deacons. When controversies arose in these early communities, bishops came together in council to settle matters of faith and doctrine that affected the entire Christian church. The first occurrence of this was at the Council of Jerusalem in 50 AD. At the council, the bishops debated the Gentile question, which asked, should Gentiles become Jews first and then be baptized, or be baptized straight away? Now the church fathers, being of one mind and one accord, determined that Gentiles could be baptized right away, provided that they did not worship pagan idols, eat the meat of strangled animals, or engage in fornication. Now, despite the apostolic decree, which proclaimed the mind of the church, the Gentile question remained a contentious issue in Jerusalem and was still debated by Jewish Christians in palatial gardens, at the homes of wealthy merchants, and on the steps at the Temple of the Mount. The Gentile question would become irrelevant in 70 AD, when a large Roman force, in an attempt to quell the Jewish revolt in Judea that began 4 years previously, destroyed the temple on the mount and decimated the city of Jerusalem. Josephus, a prominent Jewish historian and eyewitness to the destruction of Jerusalem, records that 1.1 million Jews were slaughtered and 95,000 more Jews were sold into slavery. Those Jewish Christians fortunate enough to escape made their way to remote Christian outposts in the eastern Mediterranean, such as Ephesus, Thessaly, Galatia, and Corinth. These cities were bustling seaports, founded by the Greeks long before the Roman Empire. These cities had survived and thrived because of their adaptability. They embraced new settlers, new goods, and new ideas, such as the gospel. This is precisely why the Greek-speaking St. Paul concentrated his missionary work here. The destruction of the temple in Jerusalem had redefined the priorities of the Christian church. The primary goal was to continue the Great Commission, to make disciples of men and to spread the good news. Now, many of the new converts had been educated in the Greek tradition of philosophy, which stressed critical thinking and the search for wisdom. To ensure that the message of Christ would not be diluted by exposure to the Greek mystery cults, would not be exterminated by state persecutions, and would continue beyond the lives of the apostles and their successors, liturgies or formal ceremonies were developed for each aspect of a Christian's life. There are rites for baptism, marriage, and funerals. The rites of ordination for the trifold ministry of deacons, priests, and bishops ensured the preservation of Christ's message, and that the celebration of the Last Supper would be uniform throughout the Christian churches, irregardless of where they were in the Roman Empire.